Hey everyone, it's Ted from Ted's Gaming, and today I'm bringing a review of a set of rules today. The rules are a Fistful led by Wiley Games. This is a set of rules that our group's been running at conventions and stuff, and really like these games. It's it's a skirmish level game, almost a beer and pretzel, but you can make it as complicated as you want. It gives you the basic structure of the rules that you need to use. Then you can add to or take away from it what you want. It's a initiative based game where everyone's you start off that everyone is dealt a card per figure that you have. Then once all the cards are dealt out, everyone has their hand of cards. The caller GM or running it will start with kings. It goes from kings down to twos. Aces are wild. You start with kings. Go down. If you have a king, you play it, and with the rules, it's based on suits on the cards. So it's spades, hearts, diamonds, and clubs. So if you have a king of spades, you put next to the figure. That figure gets to do two complete actions of whatever you want to do. Um, you choose what to do. The system does have a base set of rules about climbing, shooting, and other things you want to do. Uh, then you just roll the dice. If you make it, you do it. If you don't, there's consequences to it. So it's a really easy initiative system. So you go from kings down to twos. Aces can be played as whatever suit you want to through the game, through the turn. And certain suits have special abilities which affect the game. Um, if a character has a wound, you have a queen of hearts, you play another character, you get the heal. Uh, Otherwise, you get pluses to shooting, close combat, reload your weapons because you can run out of ammo in the game. Uh, Close combat. So basically, this card, if you're touching each other, you get to fight. You roll off, and consequences once you're wounded. There's a quick wound chart. You can be pinned, which is wounded or you're just dead. Um, then you got recovery, which is basically your morale. Uh, so it's a really easy system for quick play. Uh, so if you just want to get some figures down the table and start playing, this is a system for you. There's the base rule book, the core rules runs down. It gives you a generic list of stuff, equipment, and this goes from ancient all the way up to modern day. So, and it just gives swimming and stuff like that. And if it's not in the book, then you can sit down and hash it out what your character is going to do and what any penalties and stuff. So it's really free flowing. You can give your character special abilities and what they're good at, observation, night vision, stuff like that. So you can tweak your characters and better. It has a campaign system in it where you start a gang or whatever, you can actually start getting better and better farther you go into the game. Back of the book has a bunch of scenarios. Roll with it, but yeah, it's a really fun system. There's other expansions for it, which is basically you get it's the same basic rules, but adds flavor to the period that playing in. So this is Horse and Musket. This is basically through the some 1700s and early 1800s. Um, but it said basically it has the same rules. It has the rules in it, but it also has a little bit of flavoring that covers the period and stuff. So it gives the touch of that time period. So they have the Horse and Musket. They have the westerns. We played a lot of western games with this. Last year, I ran a convention with 10 people playing. Everyone had a blast. Everyone was doing something, and it's just fun. Guys, stuff happens that you don't expect, and everybody enjoyed themselves. So it it can be matched for anything. They got their
Galactic Heroes, which is your far sci-fi, future sci-fi. I run Star Wars tabletop with this, and it works beautifully for that. So you got your Jedi's, everything you can work out. If it don't have the weapons, you can work it out. There's so many different ways of doing it. Um, this is Fistful of Lead. It's a fast-paced, fun game. With the card initiative, you're hoping to get the cards that you need to save your characters in the game. But I said this is for small units, skirmish level, a couple figures apiece on each side. Then they have bigger battles. Now this book still operates under the same operating system, but this, instead of individual figures, you got regiments and groups of figures. This is for large battles. But it still runs the same way. There is some differences in Fistful of Lead. When you activate a character, you get 2 actions, so they get to do 2 different things. And bigger battles, when you activate a unit with the cards and stuff, with the whole unit, but you only get 1 action for something to do. It's just, if you give every unit 2 action, it can slow the game down. You can do it if you want to. You can keep the 2 actions. You can do it, because the rules are open, so you can tweak them how you want. But so you're running large battles. This is the way to go. So I'm working on my Zulu game. This is what I'm going to be using for my Zulu game. I tried other system. It kind of slows down. But with this is a good set of rules for conventions, because you can put a lot of figures down and you can move through a game really quickly, because it's easy. The rules are really easy to pick up, because there's not that many of them, because there is no charts or anything. On the list, you just run down. It shows you the suits, how they activate turn sequence, what actions. I said this is the actions they list, but you can, if you come up with a different kind of action, you can work it out with your GM. You got your movement modifiers. You got your shooting, and it's not that much. It looks like there's a lot, but there's not. There's base range for short range, and just a quick list of modifiers. They just roll the dice. The system runs in D10s, so instead of D6s, so you got a little bit more variety in that. Close combat is still the same. You just got different hit faction by what your figures are, because you got tribal, irregulars, or regulars. Then you got the wounding is exact same, so everything is the same. Even the cards are basically the same for special edition cards, which helps out. So the rules are all the same. So once you get one book, you can understand all the books. As I said, if you just want to get the first book, the core rules, you get that. You can play any system you want. These ones just add little flavorings, different flavorings to it, and it tweaks the rules a little bit more between each flavor. So you got the stuff you can add to each individual regiment. You got to give different abilities they got. It shows how they rank up. I said with this, you can go from 6mm. I run this with 54mm too. So sometimes you might want to change the ranges for like shooting and movement, but basically everything else is still the same. So it's like other systems. If you want to do a different scale, you just have to tweak the ranges and stuff. So that's it. If you're looking for a nice, quick set of rules, if you want to get into, and you don't want to get too complicated or anything like that, these are a good set of rules to play around with, because they will work fantastic for you. I said we've used this from Horse and Musket, Future, Ancients, Medieval, Japanese Samurai, and it always worked out, and we had a blast with them. And they have a new set of rules. Not new, but a different set. It's called Might and Melee. This is their fantasy edition rules. And just like their other rules, it runs off the same system, but this gives you can use it for medieval you want, because how it works, but this is their fantasy edition. So you can have dragons, trolls, elves. It has you can add different racial things to them. They have 3 different books in this series. This is book 1. This is your basic book. Book 2 adds magic, so you can have mages, wizards, and druids in your army. Book 3 is kind of like their monster manuals. It has all their D&D monsters and stuff in it. And they also have a neat campaign system. It's basically you're playing D&D but with miniatures. So you can have a couple figures. You got a guy or what individual figures each. That's your dungeon group, and you have a DL. You can run it just like a regular Dungeons and Dragons game, and you got your figures playing. You can level up. You can give them different abilities and stuff like that. So basically, it's just like Dungeons and Dragons, but it's all miniatures. So yep. So it's a very nice, handy system. They said the rules are basically all the same in all these systems, but they're tweaked for flavor and stuff. So if you're looking for a fast paced set of rules that you got figures, if you're looking at some of the tomes, which are actually good rules too, but a little bit more than what you're thinking of, or you have beginners that want to get into the hobby, if you don't want to throw a huge bloated book at them, this is one way you can get new people into the hobby with them that doesn't overwhelm them, and they go, oh wow, I can get some miniatures, get set of these rules, and I can start playing myself. And later on, if they want to go to other systems, they can. But with this, it'll cover the whole basis of stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this review of Fistful of Ed by Wiley Games. It said go to the website. You can check them out. They have special cards for the individual era. They have and other things for you. But and they have PDF versions of all their rule books. So if you don't want a hard copy, if you just want to try outside rules without investing in them, I mean the books are not that expensive at all. But you can get a PDF version, download it, and you can try it out. And if you like it, you can get the books because the books are nice. They're high quality. They're some are different because these are black and white, but some of the newer ones they do go in color now. So they are some nice. So these are nice quality, and there's nice small books too. So they're almost like a comic book size scale. So it's nice and small. So they're not a weighty tome. So they walk around with 3 pounds of books on you. You just got this one book, you're good to go. It covers everything you need to know. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and I'll be back later for more reviews and other things. So later on, guys. See ya.